be from now ends, but how do you want sometimes dumb things to be ending? Could there be anything unending except for everything? Non-existence inverted minus 1 infinitely divided. Yes, you tell me. Just short of everything. Just not complete. What would that be? Like some little pattern. Sort of a sea of hate that's perpetuated by the substrate of emoters, minor matrix battery. Very nice for the mental health. Excuse me, physical health of de body correction en derhalve mijn levensverwachting. Zodoende dus ook van mijn verstandelijke beperkte broer, die van mij houdt, zijn geluk dus afsnoepende. Voor wat ook weer. That's what we're about to find out. We're documenting all this. So if I drop that, at least it will have been live on YouTube. And I know the password. I like to make myself believe. I mean, I'll see to that, hopefully. That was there after that. I've been like, oh, I see, it's for safety, spiritual safety, it's quite long. That's the activated one. And then this is what it really wants to do. see, even my fucking lens is going off. What do you think that would be? What would it speak of? I don't think a clear atmosphere, if you know what I mean. And wisely. I said, wisely. Just being me. And then being that positive. Exactly my message. I challenge you. Be allowed to do that thing. And later you shall be able to tell me, is that coincidental or causal? I'd like to hear your opinion because thereby I might infer another perspective on the matter, which is always good. Because diversity, after all, is a strength as shown by, what was it again? Some of my families. Don't think about it. I would say in Haley. Order. sorry about what you said. I was in a completely empty. Well, there was one store that was not foreclosed. It's called the buying ditch, like a couple meters long. Super short, sort of dugout with brown decorative stones and whatnot. A street once intended to be like an extension of the city, the center, shopping street. It did not work out. Apparently, there was like one person in some shop. There were no customers. It was completely empty except for like maybe 2 or 3 max person in like the time I was there. So I was just completely silent and stuff. And eventually I decided, let's do a smoke. It's like one person here, like I'm not bothering anyone, am I? I'm just slowly walking. I decided, hey, this is an electricity. There's an electricity box. Let's roll a shaky. I put the stuff down. I roll the shaky. Still saying nothing. Yeah, I'm not hurrying, but I'm also not being eternal about it. You know what I mean? By any normal means. So I'm there for like 30 seconds, rolling that thing to the air. I'm like, oh, is it some drunkard or something? Is someone confused? Or is someone saying hi or whatever? Let's see what they want. I turn around. I can't quite see it. Was some not a police officer, but you know the version like if you have carpenters, you also have stick gluers. They are like that, but then for security mainly there to speak childish about rules that police is no time to police eventually because they have actual things to do and dangers to foresee. They're called the handhaving. Yeah. I prefer to call them arm having because it's the arm of the law, not the hand of the law. But that's just my funny joke. Anywho, handhaving. It's enforcement, it's just enforcers. It's like a light blue-ish uniform indicating we are not civilians. We are not quite anything else either, but we are definitely not civilians. So now you know what those are. So I turn around, I look. It looks at me like, no, like this. Like in his mind, it's like I am being kind to you by looking at you like, are you standing there still not moving, walking for more than 20 seconds? How dare he? I am kind to him for not immediately taking his money or trying to bother him. I am therefore generous. I look at him like warningly. That is in my imagine a cool forest or something like a basic forest. And someone being like that, hey man, you can't stand here still, not moving and walking for like more than 20 seconds. It looks to me like, so, aside, that those people then indeed have no moral authority because they have the mental capacity and moral compass of someone who is just deceased, you know what I mean? But then the remaining residual, uh, not living uh, bodily fluids and stuff, reflecting how close it is to the reality, logically and morally sound being shining through his conduct. Because why is that I say that? And that is actually factually true. I'll tell you. So he looked at me like, and I'm like, okay, is he confused or something? I just discard, turn back around, ignore the motherfucker. I didn't even know. Later he walked by. I knew I saw it, but I didn't quite surely see it. So I was like, I don't care actually. Oh, or is it or does something justify that if I'm bothering nobody because there's no one there, I'm there like for 20 seconds max, 25. I mean, So then that's kind of harassment or gang stalking. No, not gang stalking. Gang like intimidation is what I wanted to get at. Behavior, intimidating behavior in that sense, like warning, looking for what again? For nothing, bothering us. On what moral ground again? So therefore I say that. And like if it is not okay in a forest, it's not okay in the place you put there instead. Because first it was nature. You then, as society, replace it with that. Also suggesting, also a suggestion by me, if you do not wish me to be there in a fashion like that is not excludingly moving, don't build the fucking place then. Then that might resolve a lot of conflict for you as government. First you don't want me to move. No, I can't stand still. Make up your mind because it's very, very difficult to keep up with all those psychosis thingies. Whether I would like to appease it or irritate it. I cannot keep up like that, bro. Like, be self-consistent, be logical, and be morally sound is what I would advise the bimbo. Uh, Being a grown-ass man in a job, being paid for what? Oh yeah, that was it. Uh, because someone stood there for what? 25 seconds max, not bothering anyone, not making a mess, just normal clothes, those things, just expensive coat, those things, with like soft soft fabric, at the inside of the uh, head against the rain and stuff, rather than just the normal one, which was in fact quite a bit more expensive, but it was worth it because it was not my money. I got the thing as present, but my point being, I was not offending anything morally in terms of decency or any other way. Because there was no one there, or there were people there, and they liked me. I couldn't for because they were like-minded. So there was no reason. Uh, you might have problems with militarism, I think. I would check into a doctor or a weird test for something. Don't try. Anywho, that can happen. Even to the letter U. Only if that were a letter. But it is instead a character from the Nintendo Wii. However, the correction. So continuing my observation. Now, how far was it standing? Like 30 meters away? No. It's not like, hello, sir, blah, blah. No, he's like, alertingly making an alerting whistle for like 30 meters away plus. Like, I don't even see him. He's in my back, I have to look around. And then I see someone, I think, is he drunk or what is the deal? What does he want to say? Hi. Oh, he's seriously trying to. Ooh, that's painful for him. In terms of, say IQ shining through said comment and stuff. Professionally, that is, respecting civil rights or whatever. And no, just because you say, you can only be here with a genuine purpose. Do not stay here and hang out here. I get that because then it's becoming like a party place and people do not tend to respect that necessarily. But was I doing that 25 seconds there? Like, who the fuck is such a dumbass think that he is? Not only because of who I am, but even if I were defenseless, which is why I'm saying it, by the way, because I can defend myself, but someone else might not. Like, who does he actually think he is? That he could do that? Um, I mean, he could do it, and even if he got away, he could not make it morally just in any way whatsoever. Not even faking it, because or you would have to change everything about it. that I just told you. By any moral standard of decency worldwide that is known to the Western society and associates. So my final question to that person, that is not all handhaving, I guess. He was entrusted with a function. Set the right example, make sure that people follow the rules. So if I'm not bothering anyone, and he wants to go rule bending or something, therefore unjustified. From there's well, let's just start small, simple. I mean, let's start eenvoudigly rather than simple, meaning with clear things, not too many, just clear routine. Just from a point of common sense. He was ill-mannered in his addressing me. Not really a particularly good example. Then he was is that an attempt to what? To do what? To do what? And then I kind of, okay, pathetically, of course, because, yeah, pathetically, as you may have you've come to realize, actually, uh, if you have the capacity of, understanding what I mean. And additionally, I want to continue the story. But it all points itself out after this, doesn't it? This is my disclaimer, It will have consequences for him juridically, in the sense of like I'm the curator of the Netherlands because they have factually observing, factually shown several things which I'm not going to repeat. ntggz.wordpress.com, all written out. Go visit it if you are interested. If you're not, also good. Continuing. So I'm curator of the whole place to make sure that no victims are. So I'm also, what I'm saying is I'm morally responsible for the what happens in the town. I feel like in my community, by the example I set and how I react to other people setting a good or bad moral example. So I would say that intimidating someone like that for no reason, being possibly able to in any way justify it, meaning it would not serve anyone except for what? His ego or something? I don't know. I cannot think like what he's thinking, or see what he's thinking either. But I'm thinking like, so why does he do that like that? Like what? What is he trying to make a trend or whatever? I wonder. It's just a genuine question. It's a genuine question. Like, what is his deal? It's like the new thing of the future. Like you may not stand still or something, or you may only stand still for 15 seconds and not longer in certain areas, or is there like some cool rule or something that we were playing like the chair dance or something? Because there were no chairs, but then I would have had to know. He did not inform me of that. There were no signs saying that. In all seriousness, now we're really coming to the core of what I'm saying. Like, uh, so he can try and do that. If I ever see him, then I will tell him that it is not okay, for the sake of just making sure everyone feels safe and is safe from narcissism uh, that manifests through a authority that was entrusted to him in exchange for money uh, by the society, and he then abuses that for what? For nothing. That is of value to anyone, except for his egocentric nonsense, I guess. Or he would have to have another explanation. Like, no, it serves this purpose, but there could have been no logical purpose. There could there have been? Think real hard about this one. Could there have been a logical purpose? Either he was not so smart, or he just felt like it. He just thought, I'm the man, I'm the man. Well, let me tell you this. If he thinks that because he has a certain weird taste in clothes or something and does not work exclusively for himself, that he can go around like some gang member or whatever, knowing that he will always be protected in every way, and then like some gang ass intimidating behavior, because I'm, not walking for 25 seconds to 30 seconds, not bothering anything or anyone, not leaving mess, nothing, not being irregular, not being disturbing in any way whatsoever, not being indecent, not my pants not dropping or stuff, wearing exactly this, just shirt, you know, branded, not like off-brand, but just like a brand of jogging pants and stuff. Hair exactly like this. I have not. I just arrived home from the occurrence. And yeah, I have not suddenly gained extra ability to convey the language and whatnot. What's his deal? Did he want? So here's my deal. Here's my deal. Here's my deal. If he tries it again, I will expose him for being the idiot that he is. Morally, cognitively, just according to the facts. Expose those who think they can abuse others, intimidate others for what? And you know, unjustly actually. He's just an abusive ass motherfucker. He's just a dumbass sucker in that sense. And if he ever tries to do it again, I will point him to his mistake. And he will face it, or else. Because I am, after all, the curator. It's evil land. Everything that happens, if I admit to it, if I allow it, I might be complicit in the eyes of who? Well-thinking beings. In the sense of, yeah, you say it's your community, and then you allow it, and this and that and that. That kind of, I don't want that. My stance is to be clear. Not okay, it's not okay. It doesn't matter if you're gay, ill-minded, or whatever ailment you might have, such as being handhaver or something. It doesn't really matter. If he ever thinks of intimidating anyone, including me, with his gangster attitude, trying acting gangster like intimidation, yeah, man, and that's why I say nothing. Those who know, and those who don't will have to see in part two the juridical consequences of doing that. Because then I immediately film him. I say I must film you because you are being very confused according to anything that is acknowledged worldwide. I must not film him. That's that. Then I will cover his. Then I will document his every behavior in the interaction concerning me, and just be clear, frank, and not escalating anything. Just a decent manner according to basic, understandable common sense. Not anything fancy necessarily or preemptively in the first place and stuff and stuff and stuff. This was the story. No, thank myself for having told myself the story because then I will not forget it. Who actually is the biggest hater of them all? The one who was supposed to give the good example, but then his autistic brother, not autistic in the sense of he has a good heart, but autistic like, no, it must be this type of hair, otherwise it is not ancestral enough. Special type beingness of handhavers. Like if you want to be a carpenter, that's fine. Do your thing, nails, screws, planks and whatnot. Come on, don't collect twigs and then glue them together and call it the wall. That is that is not progress by serving it. I'm sorry. Like either do a profession, do it not wrong. Otherwise, you're gonna get this stuff. I must call it out. Otherwise, the government thinks it might work out, and then apply the same concept elsewhere, leading to more of this, you know, errors, malfunctions, and those type of things. I am Lord, what was it? Keys from their bacon too, or B. Remember, who's this A must say B, but unity followed by what? Dividedness or something? I'd have to think about that one. So, how does it letter differ from the number in that sense? I'll leave that to you. Two, 23. I'm still here. Construction working. No problem. If this is it. Otherwise, I might make a complaint because, there's also people living here, including me. And hey, the rest speaks for itself, doesn't it? I'm looking for the infinity sign, man. Usually not alternate chips. Language translates yourself. I wish Homie would listen more to his heart and listen to the voices in his head. Mark said, I completely agree with Marge. Anything is important enough to say? Go to facebook.com/live.evo. Write me in chat, I would say. Because if I have to listen to voices in my mind telling me what is in the air, busy. I might accidentally be biased towards myself. You know. Yes, what is it called again? Choose political separation of power, executing power, juridical justice power thing, and the lawmaking. All separated powers, for otherwise there will be conflict of interest. News. Did you know that the mental health commercial company, market company, and the judge have the same salary pair? Question: is this in accordance with Tres Politica? Yes or no? According to you, or see anything else that you might want to reply to that constructively regarding the questions, topical matter and substance and thing being zijn het. Ja, dat klopt toch. Dacht ik maar 0% over na te doen. Nee, not looking. You're here too, man. Come on. Have a good one. Ciao. This particular patch, very nice patch of episode. Very nice Peter second. Yeah, it means something more than but you know, or anyone else in the world such a GT. I was like, I'm basically. Oh, yeah, it's the clock indicating 22:30. I have 21% battery. You know what I mean? Yeah, then. Oh, sharp pain in my left ear. That is always a healthy sign. That means that your ear is still active and alert, and therefore will not be hurt because it is, what is a sharp pain after all? Indicating it means that the air feels nice, right? Or was it the opposite? You decide. Your opinion. But facts speak for themselves. And normally I don't have that, and not just now outside neither. So, what then causes it? I wonder. I'm all open to suggestions regarding that topical monstrosity of a question. By the fact that I was drilling just now shows that, etc. And it shows who's here. Devil. In the vicinity. Geographically, I mean, not in my room or anything. Like geographically in the area. Radiological, electrostatic whatnots and whatnots of as might be conducting or conducted by the body and whatnot of solid substance in facilitating one's actuality of actual nature and thing. Then some of gossip. There's some gossip. I have to say something about someone, and he's going to like it. I'm so happy with it because reasons that choose to remember, regardless of if I have just chosen to forget it. I mean that is not true, because that would be, fortunately he doesn't speak English, and he's anonymous, but his name is no interaction. Redaction. Okay, it was this patch fair. I live here, I've seen him all the time. He just looked German today, and I was like, hey, sure, what up? Normally he's like, hey, Phil. This time it's like, oh, shh. No, you want to, exist? Don't do that. We are not your neighbors in the garbage. No, don't exist, please. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, I'm just being honest, aren't I? This is my interpretative belief. Inferring from how my body chooses to move according to least distance without me interfering artificially or whatnot. You tell me whether this looks natural to you, because you have to take that from me. Just now, outside, there was no irregularity, now there is. So what could be logically be the difference, I wonder. I'll leave faith upon that. And that is the homework for today. Uh, a few days. Do you watch your agenda in 3 days? You may you'll have to make the homework. We'll discuss it. And for now, just do the please just do the assignments that have been denoted in your. But how did they call it? A study guide paper. Wow, I forgot all about this. And then they print those out, and it's like, you have to do this, you have to do this, blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, brings back memories. Like, oh no, unfortunately, I don't have to do it now. All right, just do something, just fill it in so that it looks like you're done. All right, I can get away with this. All right, we're done now. Finally, something that is funner. And sometimes it's taking goddamn long. Come up with 3 reasons because of that, blah 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 blah. God damn it, 3 reasons. Come up with 6 reasons that blah blah blah. Also take into account to bring into the story this. God damn, I have to actually internalize what he wants me to internalize, which is dumb as shit, probably. Excuse me, correction. Nonsense. To say originally, not that it matters. Too much. I mean, where's your correspondence? Frank N. Frank N. How's the verse? Oh yeah, good one. I came up with a brilliant. Well, I didn't come up with it, but it did come across my mind. Not even by my verdienste, but given that I've heard of it, and it appears to be according to some very have affinity having with the subject, and having a wallet that is reflecting that, as created from that affinity with the subject. Forthcoming togetherness bonding throughout time, progressing things called. What is the also trying to say? Bitch. What is the exact word that he should now say to make the whole sentence right? That is the third extra homework. Yeah, Jenny, you talked. You did not let me finish. You also had the nerve to also want to say something. Therefore, you have to now write 20 times in stone, carvingly, without any ambiguity in the letter depiction. The stone being diamond crystal. That is how I had to do it in school, because we had not had have paper. Yeah, that was cruel, I know, but it was what we had in the olden days. That is why I can only count to 5.5. Because, that's just how far you get with diamond. As a diamond slate is like a medium to write on. It just takes a little bit longer. With your fancy paper and whatnots and whatnot. What was it called? A pen? That's too far for me. Sorry. That's too far for me. That's a bridge too far for me. I like the things the way that I was taught them. Otherwise, I might have to, be responsible for my progression, and that would mean that I could not blame others for my successive, uh, uh, hoe zeg je dat, stranding of my upgoing. Hoe heet het ook weer? That is homework for me because I should be knowing that. Um, ChatGPT. ChatGPT. I forgot the word again. I forgot the word. Sound the alarm bells. Word forgotten. Word forgotten. Is what I would say if I were a geek, which I am not. Nerds are for losers, geeks are for winners. And if you is trying to be gangster, at least not be like a snitch ass bitch, like a handhaving. Police no problem with them. They have made 1.5 mistakes total in my whole life, and actually do a service like face danger and stuff instead of just I get it, I get the idea behind it, but it's like yeah, his understanding did not reflect that anyway. I come back to it because it's very important to me that people understand, respect, and stuff, regardless of their IQ or whether they get paid for it or not. And if you don't get paid, then you must understand that if you do not do your job properly and offend me in that sense and my civil rights, that I will commence to make sure that it is evened out and you won't make such a mistake again for the sake of everyone, including my own. In a way that does not induce suffering but provides the person inside and in a way that inspires them to better their ways and actually think about what they're doing in that sense, in the ultimately meaningful sense. And goal oriented, not means oriented, because what is a means without a goal? Same as a goal without a means, or actually not. You know what I mean? Good. It is now 22:40. I have 24%. That is cosmic alignment because it is 44:32. Now that is what I'm saying. And you saw it. That's what I'm saying to you. I'll make a screenshot too. So now I'm not screwing you. Okay. I'm pausing. I must change something. I don't remember. Hey, you. That's why. Because you should talk about what is good. Way to do it. And not how not to do it. If you were to, no, put it. Not ask. That was a superposition, and that's interpreted freely. But exactly how we it to exactly match, or it shall not be good enough. You know what I mean, right? Finally, I get to make a joke on the camera. I think for the first time or second time. If you said I know, then that's very special because I did not. I had a blank mind saying, and you thought you knew. What did it say to you? Does it teach you anything, or is it just like, wow, that's so dumb? That's not cool. Or something like, funny joke. Like, well, that makes me think. So I didn't think about it. And if you are not from, let's say, the, how do you say, not police, but twig lures gang, but like someone who works for himself, then I would like to know, should you want to share? Because the government is working on Windows 1850 firmware alpha, pre-alpha, point 0.001, and then just that made, and that's still running iteratively. Click and done. It's now set up. We'll just have it like this forever, repeating, without any further update. Was that the intention of how America was created? Which is of course what I mean, because this country is more like an imitation, I guess, of that. So, but it's like a town, big town place. So it's like, well, we at least show that we care about the values, as long as we just, not try to screw one another over. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll just do things based on common decency, except when it comes to you, because the supermarkets do not trust you. You have to trust everything based on common decency, you see. Or don't you? I wonder. Thereby. Or is it not panda-worthy, you think? I know if I need to do it. Right after this. So write this down. Alright. Alright. What is eating all that rain? Because normally it goes a little bit faster. Is there any big? Oh no, I'm not Windows. I'm not Windows. Wait, check. Let's ask Sir Speedbird. That is his. That is his response. By the way, the actual castle in Luxembourg. Castle. What is it? Vijanden? Like enemies? Dutch word? Oh, vijanden. I see. Yeah. What was it? Hell, something of Vijanden Street? Or like Zidu or something? Okay. This is the castle. If they made like flat buildings remotely like that, that would be so cool. Like a dream come true. Rather than, a battery for people. You know what I mean? Or what I do? I think you do. And I'm not talking about cool skyscrapers. I'm talking about like barns with multiple layered floors, like 6 or so. And then just, like brick wall, door, brick wall, door. And then it's just like no decoration necessary. Everything is what it is. Like its function doingly as to, so that you won't die and stuff. Like practically, I mean. Because that is just so that everyone, and they have point there, but did you know that? And that's where I stop this, because I've always talked about it, and I do not repeat myself, so 2 minutes silence max, so that I can finish this one task. Who wants to, learn how to do it, except not quite, and then redo it better? No one? Alright, I don't really want to do it. Skip. Okay, I did it on purpose. Before comedic effect. But also, so that I am showing to you. I know what humor is. I know it's off spot, making fun of yourself. Not at the cost, though, of yourself. In a tasteful manner. Proving that I understand something rather hard to grasp for psychopath. Natively experiencing it. And not merely as some alien theory for its specific and such. I postulated earlier today. Check this out. I have terror with like actual cool, like not man, round things that makes it like natural looking and flowery. And that is the way it actually looks optimally cool. And of course, it is French. I cannot help that is gay. But hey, at 10, well, it's also like cool because it's like something otherwise straight, like some like crazy ass curve, like bending the dimension in a way that is not like bricks, but mathematical, modern, like flowing curve, like let me think of that. Not like a square, but like some cool, autograph or something with like a cool that way. Take the Windows Vista wallpaper. And that way, I mean, offer the curve thingy, the slightly lighter curve thingy. The Vista wallpaper, like the desktop wallpaper, yellowish greenish arrow team default wallpaper. If you remember that from 2007, I know. The best looking Windows there is. It works. It's not the fastest, but it works. And that is odd, the way it looks. I could have had that, but people didn't quite. But it's it's not cheap, so it is not efficient, right? It's not profitable, right? They thought. We don't buy it. No, we don't buy it. It's experimental train. So Microsoft quickly learned, and then it's like, okay, make it as ugly as we can. And then eventually they kind of circle back, like, okay, we have to make it so that it looks like as simple as we can, but not so simple that it's like we didn't try. So just a little bit of design, and that's it. No more design from there on. Only functionality. That way our customers trust us, because that is what they know, apparently. As is how I understand the progression of that brand's production development and stuff. Windows operating system for the software computers. Beautiful. Oh yeah, I have as tragic news. I am missing a little bucky. Do you happen to see anything about the video? Let me know, because I'm looking for it. It's like this, but then like a little bit smaller, a little bit lower. Dark blue ceramic from Greece, belonging to a how's this called again? Oh, Pythagoras cup. That is it. That's what it was from. I cannot find it. It has disappeared under circumstances which are weirdly suspicious. But I could have also very well caused myself by putting it somewhere that I do not remember actively in the worst of Russia. Otherwise, it might have been stolen, which is never deserved, because that is a crime that I hope did not take place. And I may not assume, because everything is innocent until further notice. For proving it. Not. It is uh, reasonable to expect. That is not proof. That is expectation. That is interpretation. That is opinion. If it is good enough for you, for yourself, whatever, man. But in nature, you need to have physical evidence for things. Or you cannot say it is proven. You can only say, I assumed it, presumably. Therefore, being perhaps illusionary, perceptual, and or perceptible artifact. To put it in a way that might leave anyone not having previously Googled those terms, such as anyone but me, because I did Google them, because I do that for fun. Well, okay, that's not actually reflecting how it happens, but it happens, I guess, somehow. Or I wouldn't know otherwise. I don't expect you to know, but just go with it. The dimensional substrate. Because remember, after all, time is money, money is power. The most powerful weapon is the pen. And since money is power, and knowledge is also power, and time is money, therefore the more you learn, the longer you live. It is apparently. Ultimately, I think that might not be too far off statistically. After all, if you do not learn that, you might get cool visuals if you put a fork into a live electrical socket, which I would try if you would like that, for free. See if you buy that, then it might all be over soon. So therefore, showing that how that might actually come about, had I not been so nice to everybody, like everyone is to me. Not that this would be in my nature, but you never know. The universe is infinite, so etc. Fortunately, I did not say anything dumb that I said not bad. I did not lower myself fast, and that is what matters sometimes. Right, now 2 minute silence max for the victims of whatever you like. No pressure. We're gonna start after this message. No pressure, it's not offensive if you talk, but we're gonna try. Verblijvend. Ik12 bedoel ik daarmee zijn. 3, 2, 1, go. Someone is sucking the smoothness of my hair, putting it in here. Like some type of nah, there's not so much in it, I think. Only one way to do it. Now, how late is it? Ooh, 3 hours. I need to make my dinner quick. Still okay. Still heavy. Full of little emergency be thing. Just in case you see any nasty Jewish aliens. Or of any, a thing that might offend the alien. In that case. Okay, Christian was more appropriate. You're right. Because Jewish is actually, the original of the trilogy. The trilogy being Islam is, what was it? The definitive edition, like San Andreas, the definitive edition. What was I even gonna, that's what I mean by, it's a little bit cool. Non-existence inverted, -1 infinitely divided equals. Simple math, if you do not know that, then I guess everyone can learn something. Is it not? Even I have to be more modest sometimes. Is it not? No, it is not. This time. This was fun. one thing at a time. Just get out of here if you care about, your health and stuff. Because someone is taking the good out of others and giving it to someone else. And that is scary, isn't it? Kurt said minder en niet onvermeerd. He was very resolute. He was clear. How do you say? Goebbels said, do you want the total war or something? Everyone was like, yeah. He was like, oh god damn, this was our shot, man. We cannot, with the upcoming elections, financially afford to, book this venue again. I thought they was gonna say we want international peace, right? That's what we meant, right? I said it's a total war, right? Okay, admittedly my intonation I was a bit nervous, says he. My intonation was a bit off, but come on, man. If someone says, do you want total war? Who says yes, right? He said, we'll just go with it. After all, if that's your answer, then I guess you deserve it, right? That is what Goebbels said. He is, after all, the propaganda minister, so he must never be lying, he said. For, after all, in his words, a good government cannot exist without good commercials. As a good commercial for government cannot exist without a good commercial or government. Out of the two it was. Eine gute Regierung ohne eine gute Propaganda kann ebenso wenig bestehen wie eine gute Propaganda ohne eine gute Regierung. And that is true wisdom in the marketing world. It seems just like the beetle, look not supersonic, but intimate and organic. As did the Apple logo, instead of calling it Laser Beam Max computers, as I've seen in the respective pop cultural movie regarding the subject. The camera is super duper smooth here, man. What are they doing? The day being, is it like, it must be some, or it's magic, or it's so magic that it's magic, but then it even has logical explanations. You pick one. Matter. If this is my last, I see it all back. And if it continues, then I might really have to make some guess here. Excellent tool. Okay, that's for more for video. Where is it? Think about that. Not because I said it, but if I were to do it, would I say it on my head? And if you want to know, would you really get you sift through 1.9 and the minute I said that it's 1.9 hours and then 0.9 seconds of nonsense? Or was it nonsense? No, it was so not nonsense that it annoys you. That's right now. You want to check? Have fun. He's gek. Yeah. It's cool. I'll stay here. It's not cool. Ik word toch aangekeken, zijn we wel? Even de trucjes. Eerst mishandelen, daarna zeggen hij ziet eruit, want hij is mishandeld. Dan mogen we verder mishandelen, want dan gaan mensen mij mishandelen of zo. Dat was de logica, toch? Vraag ik aan mijn hoofd. Vraagt zo'n papiertje. Eerst even in de lijst. Japan. Sit in a wheelchair. We got for you. Shaking your soul. And I've gangrene system. No regrets. But then he says it's very quickly in one sentence. Which would be statistically autistic. You would not. Okay. you different. I'll pull this way, I'll take it back now. I'll take it back. If this is the games that I played, then it's not mine. I bought it. Yes, yeah, I feel it. When my body reacts to that, it's seen. If you are, minding it. But then also the smooth off the camera. How did that happen? Twice. You know what I mean? Might have been the lighting. True that. Good that you mentioned it. Then I shall try that too. With press lighting. Cool. Let's try an experiment then. Careful for potential ghouls. You know what I mean? Zombies and stuff. Might have been the lighting. Yeah, that's true. But we'll see soon as it is. Now we know what is what. Never let those guys into Europe. We thought it was on Rubber Road, and it was a trillion rubber roads. We thought it'll end there, but it didn't. Just like a fallout hotel in it. It's cold outside, man. It's barely a bite. It's just like one little mark. A week later, everyone is a ghoul, excellently. Not consciously or animal. Thanks, Torrance. That's where you guys. One day, very soon, I hope. For everyone that is victim to, the thing that is also victimizing me, by injustices, contrary to what it is pretending to be, I would say. Potentially, therefore. So much that it is criminal in terms of civil rights. Schending head. Breaching, therefore. I mean, in the next first sentence. 3, 2, 1. I have to really try to. It's more like a willpower thing than a physical resistance thing. Okay, here it goes. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'd have a scar on my forehead, sir. Do I look like I have a scar on my forehead? Yeah. Or did I just forget or something? And do I actually have one? Because in that case, I might have to go through my memory. And also, Harry Potter has no parents left. It's not funny. But, of course, true, but also, however, fictitious it might seem. Trust me. What did I say to the voice in my head? I want to always listen to my voice of my heart. And the voice of my heart says, Fine. And not. Good tunes. Alright. Yeah. There we go. Here was nothing. Suspicious, circumstances in this place. I must say to my point of view. Therefore, I must document all and everything. I might have saw that. I might ask. Therefore, I shouldn't answer it. One more thing. That's actually an excellent suggestion here. I shall monitor unnecessary light use, and then I shall forget to close the door for every time it happens. But not today, because today I should like to do. But it is a nice stick behind the door, you know what I mean? Should really abhor any feeling that I come across thereby created and whatnot. I will not live in what I like. This morning I said to myself, interesting. The nice thing about often helping others is that you can just reject your help if you do not agree. You don't then really hurt anyone. But it might already have an impact on someone's ability to absorb your argument appropriately for the sake of all. Yes, you know what I will do. Yeah, as soon as I walk into this place, the camera angles off, everything is, you know, like, there it is, like, camera angle. Here's like, oh, oopsie. What causes that? I'll show you. What causes that? The far side, where we just were, is bordering a happy and healthy family. The side I border is currently under construction, but very, not like I say, because of the noise they make, that is necessary for construction, but because just ill-mannered disrespect, shown in, any type of communication, then throwing shit over the wall. I saw how there was no wind. It went so quick over that wall that it would have been extremely magically coincidental had it not been thrown, but it was in fact the wind in that case, which is impossible. Therefore, soon I shall, return the object to their vehicle, not the place from which it was thrown, but because as it is shown, you should never go back the way you came, unless it is convenient for you. What is that thing? Oh, here's the gossip, the pending gossip. Remember the disclaimer: if he talks about you with someone else, he might talk about correction. He who talks about with you about someone else will have and will discuss you with someone else equally. Therefore, however, I must also acknowledge that my brain works a certain way, and I should not I should not move gears manually, but just use the poke that is intended for that. Regardless of what it does, just use instructions as they can, and don't think you know better than the love that created you and whatnot. As a spikewater metaphor, if you will, or would. Should that make sense? You go check that. I won't. If it makes sense, it will be coincidence. I just said something. Seeing if it made the right sound. Or did I? You find out. I'm curious. I don't know. I have to do that spiritually, otherwise Not forget I'm gonna have. But first, we shall make the homework. This is the mental health file. I shall walk you through it quickly. Like, it's this amount of thickness of hatred, which has all been disproven by the opinion of most recent said mental health commercial institutions that created this. Most recent, recently involved what they like to call it professional, or more realistically, someone who sees any experiential, first-handedly experienced experience as a symptom, because her written hearsay, gossip, opinion collection finds per opinion, not by fact, that that is actually what? A symptom of what? Not an ability but a disease. And then to enter the field, I would have to agree with that, right? Or I would be, or it'd be like, no, the teacher is not agreeing with you. Therefore, you failed the class, isn't it? Because he's the teacher, you're a student. Alright, say I've entered the field now. If I don't have enough money to make my own private business out of it, like I'm a private psychopathic mental health vandalist that is liking to call himself a professional instead of a quack that he is, privately that is, instead of what a private toilet like a school is always better than the public thing like openbaar onzin, because it's cheap and I say maliciously what's the other word I'm looking for, neglectfully in any way, shape or form yeah, inadequate to do its job in a properly cultivated, thereby civilized manner and way, however you choose to view it or interpret this statement. It has to say Canadian bound and ting and ting, I've been told from multiple, uh, what was it again, what we were talking about, sources? I don't remember. I would like to pretend. Now then, let me continue this beautiful paperwork tour, the magical paperwork tour. It's a funny story of justice, because the harder they lied before, the more of a fool they ended up making a fool of themselves. Because the most recently involved, responsible in their eyes, person is supposed to like be psychiatrist and managing my abuse and stuff, controlling that, has said, maximum legal dose per month. Okay, will slowly, even though you refuse to stop using speed, which I know, because you have forced it down my throat, she says, that info, so that I would finally consider, stopping the poison you are trying to compensate for, given that we won't stop injecting poison, so you must, to keep your body healthy, increase dopamine flow as we're trying to sabotage the absorption of it, but in whichever cell in your body indiscriminately. Because if your body does not work, then you will not have those pesky things that are written here. Say gossip, book, opinion-based things is a disease for its own whatever dumbass reasons. And so your brain will be that much dead that you will not have those diseaseful uh, realities where it's not all practicality and what we understand with our little pea-sized brain and manual calculating scriptural fantasy. That's is actually depicting their stupidity of the psychosis they are in collectively. Like, no, if I cannot grasp it with my finger, it shan't be real because that I cannot explicitly this and that. Yeah, but that has to do with your approach, right? Yeah, so not necessarily discuss the actuality of the matter. Well, fuck you, they say. Fuck you. We do the best we can. Can you do better? No. And if you could, we wouldn't allow that to be done socially. So people would think it was not. So I'm a sketchum. I have the famously rare one-petaled uh, helicopter hat. Sound, sonic sound, pressure, uh, sound resoundingness, directed uh, levitation device. I never collide with anyone because we have agreed to make the altitudes have one specific direction per altitude. So if you want to go that way, you go that altitude, etc. So no one ever collides. Just look around you with a minimum speed. Don't be like dumbass. Go with the flow. Don't go super fast. And go around the flow if you want to go faster. If everyone goes around you, then you might want to go faster. If you go too slow, then there also has to be a way to do that. Oh yeah, which is go to the appropriate altitude again. You can remember that? And Pikachu, I choose you. Hurry, throw rocks at his face. Yeah, now I got my medal. Oh, the Pope says, this fun game teaches children such nice, jolly values around nature and animals. In 2000, what was it, two? Well, okay, it was the Vatican's press office. But hey, the Pope, which supposedly never ejaculates, however he might do that, which I have tried, and not to be distasteful or anything, but I have tried it. I mean, you can go a long way. In the end, your body is kind of like, okay, so we're not using this specific organ anymore because then I'm going to shut it down if you want. And you don't want that if you want to be healthy, right? So I'm asking the Pope, personally, do you ejaculate from time to time for biological health or not? And if not, or if so, why are you not, or are you honest about it? Also, come on, man. Stop touching them kids, man. Just do woman. Or a man if you must. Don't associate the symbol of innocence being the rainbow with it. Choose the uh, tree stem, which is brown and long and phallic shaped. That is appropriate. Not even, but then it would at least be like remotely funny and not pathetically, like, Mom and Daddy, what is that flag? What is the rainbow? And why is it a triangle with brown and some weird ass color that I never seen the rainbow in it? Oh, that's just because the triangle is the Illuminati, son. Don't you know that? The Illuminati is. Oh, yeah. Because everything in the cosmos is a sphere. So they say it is a triangle because that is easier to make out of separate parts. Otherwise, they would have to, study things and stuff. They would rather just have a pyramid because that is a classic from Egypt, and then just copy that and then put an eye on it, and it'd be like, "Ooh, I'm a unicorn," instead of like having like two horns or like two voelsprieten feelers, like of a what is it again, a grasshopper or something, like actual beings in nature. No, no, I'm like a cyclops, like a unicorn. I have one eye. Okay, granted, there is one. You think there's one origin from where you guys comes from. With uh, come to find in the simulation, I guess, looking at the perceptual inward vision. Is there any okay, like eventually if something like there's definitely cool layers with like bubble baths that have moves through your body and whatnot. Very cool. If you use ketamine sometimes, from time to time, you might not feel anything. Then it's like, oh, you're at that cool place, or oh, someone presents it nice, or magic, and boom, oh, you're in the cat space. Invisible layer. All kinds of cool bubble baths. That feel really nice. Twist it this way. Oh, nice, nice. Like some sort of cleansing. Oh, there. Yeah. Overlapping with, the perceptual screen and whatnot, which is clearly standing up, rectangular like thing. So that is what Earth is, isn't it? Or isn't it? I'm asking. Actually, I have my opinion ready, but I've learned to also consider the other party when having a conversation. I think. Nee, inderdaad. Als meneer Scooter, wordt inderdaad op dit moment bedwelmd. How is that possible? Pikachu! Electrocute that motherfucker that does that. Give him a fork. Take him to a life socket. Says, come on, man. It'll be really cool. It's like drugs. Come on, Pikachu. Oh, wait. Wrong Pokemon. I should have used. What's the motherfucker called again? Alakazam? No, no, no. Oh, yeah, Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff. Jiggly. Alright, he's asleep. He's asleep. Put his finger in the cup of water. Wait for it. Urinated. We'll say we'll put that on Facebook. I'm not saying it is my Facebook, which no one ever checks. So we wouldn't be lying, but it's like it's also not the whole truth. But put it on Facebook if you don't try this cool new method of seeing visuals. Ash, we think that you are going slightly psychotic. Yeah, well, that may be true, but Team Rocket has been really torturing me with psychologically and stuff. They're constantly taking my Pokemon, man. I'm getting sick of this shit, man. Then I see him shooting away into the air. You know how cruel that is? That is also damaging for my psyche, he says. Have you considered that? Have you considered that? It's not fun for a 10-year-old, is it? To see people fly away so quickly that you know they will suffer when they come down. Onhopelijk. Being, it will definitely happen. However, anything. That's not a word. Inevitably, that is it. Not fun for a 10-year-old, is it? Consider that. Next time, hunt Pokemon. Who is this Pokemon? Later, I'll add something in, and then we'll see it. Oh, wait. I have an idea. We'll do this. We'll do the following. Alright, okay. The magical paper tool. We're being sabotaged and distracted. I have 5% left. That leaves us 1 hour of filming. Let's do it. I will read this entire thing to you super quickly. I read it for you. But don't worry, I clearly have articulated anything that is of any value or contribution to anything whatsoever that is written here, and not just gossip and hate. I kind of sifted through that more quickly. Well, we're done now. This is how thick it is. Oh, yeah, what did the respective person I mentioned say? Okay. We're now 200 milligrams in a couple of weeks, having started at 400 maximum legal dose per month injected. I then presented the facts as it says on ntggz.wordpress.com, the website, And then said, okay, then from 200 you don't have to slowly and surely sift it off. No, we'll just go boom to 0. Do you think she would have said that if she were to think that I could put at risk her put her to shame because she made the wrong judgment call or something? Because I then would not be able to, what was it again, just not fuck everything up, because I would be so cognitively overwhelmed by the ability to not be poisoned. Well, she knew he's using speed the whole time to stay healthy physically, increase the amount of dopamine if they mutilate you by sabotaging the absorption of that. That is logical. It is not caused by me, but it is completed by me in a let's make the best of it way. They did it for who? Everyone but me. Who then say, oh, he uses speed. I am going to blame him for that, even though we caused it. Because according to my pea-sized intellect, that is fair. Or they just don't care. But they do care enough to hate you. So what does that say about those specific ones? Factually speaking, from a logical standpoint, had they actually cared to process those 1.2 syllables per hour and a half, they're able to fully and not half. And like, oh, that must be it. Way-ish. And they might have been able to catch their own partiality in their opinion formed, leading to deviation from actuality. This would be unconditionally true for any observer, regardless of if it is me or you, which is physicality supposed to be called objectivity, as opposed to subjectivity, which is interpretational things, also called speculation with regards to objectivity. Speculation, we cannot prove it. What is prove it? It's like taste. You can fist about it, but it will not lead anywhere. You can fist about it, the devil. You can only agree that you disagree. Respectfully, not discussing, but debatingly. And if one is looking how far they can go and get away with it, then you know that that is not respect. Respect is inherently mutual. People is either, hey man, what up? Yo, alright, nice. How are you? And not, alright, let's see you. If you do that, you know that I'm gonna try and steal as much, but then get away with it, blah blah. That is not a friend. That is a friend of me. That is a hater. That is a leech and not a flexor. As the internet has told me, is the most fundamental defining quality of any human being, as currently in this sentence coming to me, rather than being, in the context of what we were discussing. Being the following. That was time for you to rewind the video if you want to know what that was. Interesting floating results. Completely symmetrical. 0. Inverted. Non-existence information. -1 infinitely divided equals 1. I think that, yeah, the backdrop, but then with the teeniest bit less, what would that be? It would either be like a lot, or it would be like the song. Let's call it that. Over here, well, I think it's already, which is being like meaningless noise. Unbiased, therefore. This is it. Because it's meaningless, therefore it has no bias. It is statistically a balance, which statistic approach results from ignorance, but still wanting to make some sense of it, if not its actual nature. So, saying that the ultimate balance is a, what was it? probability balance, statistical balance, the end of entropy. That is kind of funny. If you would look at it that way, you could then pretend to prove that meaning is optionally coincidental. Optional and coincidental version. And be like Stephen Hawking. I hate my life. God does not love me. Therefore, he must not exist. That would make sense to me. Because I have super bad luck. I cannot judge about that. But I get that his mood is put down, but don't put down everyone's mood. Because seeing that God is not necessary for the for the universe, or existence, in the sense of meaning is not fundamental. Meaning is optional or whatever, a fragment or has the means, the answer to the means in his words. Like, oh yeah, the part can exist without the whole. Does that make sense to you? The subset exists without there being anything that encompasses it. That is what Stephen Hawking says. Does that sound smart to you? No, it does not. So unless I don't have anything against wheelchairs, but if you want to stay in that wheelchair, then yeah, you should listen more to him. Mentally, that is. Because if ChatGPT says, it's super hard for, something like nothing, like just dumb as nothing, mechanical dumbness, for that to spawn out is super unlikely. That's what ChatGPT says. Who do I trust? Stephen Hawking or ChatGPT? The rest I've written down. I'm not going to repeat myself like that. But this is my way to say goodbye after having eaten the following. And the meaning of life secret is pinch. Here it comes. Meaning. What else? What else? Object function. Like its own thing. Because if reality can never be experienced, might as well never have existed. It's not. Even if it exists, it'd be like, no, it didn't. I never saw it. So what is then existence? Actual existence. Think about that for a second. Also, look into the game and say, oh yeah, I'm the video game character. There's no end user looking at the TV within the video game. Therefore, he does not exist, and it's not necessary. He's but a coincidental artifact of the video game. Stephen Hawking says, yeah, keep using that wheelchair logic there, Stephen Hawking. I don't mind, but I think you're just not that stupid. You're just willfully ignorant. Thereby. Actually, trying to sabotage people's minds, not as, preoccupied with disproving goodness and stuff. Being anything more than coincidental and like a pesky irregularity in the functioning of objects as postulated by, you guessed it, Stephen the Hawk, supposedly the hawk-eyed king, except the hawk is in a wheelchair, cannot fly because he was born with 40 wings, therefore his eyes have misgrown. He's now Cyclops, that has the eye growing out of his butt. That is not a hawk, sir, and a king is not as fictitious because 1 and 1 is 0 difference mathematically, isn't it? I ask. Yeah. So king is actually a psychotic, delusional artifact of the, incompleteness of one's ability to think or think it through and stuff. One would say, if one aims to not make up the reality, but derive the intrinsic truths, which are unconditional, not circumstantial, therefore in its value being not through social, how to say, through socially given likes or dislikes based on people's opinions, but like, oh yeah, that is actually valuable, whether someone acknowledges it or not. Hey, that is true. If I throw a rock, it goes the way I throw it, and not sometimes left, even though I throw it forward, unless But that is not the same case, is it? Uh-huh. Showing determinism. You know, randomness does exist. The word randomness does exist because it means irrelevant to the respective context, being origin, making beloved factors, causing. But of course, those are clearly deterministically defined. Or are you suggesting that everything is the same? One time it is this, other time that, except for a person with a free thinking, free will based mind, which per Gödel's theorem, according to who was it again? He was like the least psychotic of them all. Come on, brain. The 90-year-old physician person. Not yeah, Penrose. According to the Gödel theorem, it was anyway beyond calculation because that type of logic would could disprove itself, proving two opposite contradicting things, and it would just prove to not be sound in a way like, oh yeah, its patterns reflect the truth. You could say it's true, and it would make sense logically, and it would not be the actual case, which is what I found fascinating. Having said that, should I be attacked? You hear from me? I am not Jewish. I am self. No, not self. Blah blah blah. What I intended to say first was, I can think for myself. In that I am unique. I have found, unfortunately, to my disliking, it seems, through people not appreciating it, no, attacking me for it. So it should be attacked. You hear from me. If I die, it is their fault, not anything else, right? No, I did not intend it. I did not intend for it. I didn't look. If I be like, uh, I will find a nice fork and just fall on that by accident. That is not my intention, by any means necessary. So should that happen, someone else did it. Is what I'm saying to you. If you know me, you know what I mean. You know it's true. So if someone is abusing you or raping you, call the authorities. 112 or 911, depending on where you are. 113 is only for people. My birthday is on 13/11. 113. What is that saying? Anagram. Are you saying? Yo, wait, I want two more things. Actual last thing. The works of Trainwreck, the gambler, on cocaine. Hilarious guy. I love him for his entertainment. That's a juicer, he says. Come on, bitch. Clutch up! As if it does work the way he wants it to. This is nice, man. Alright, I want to read it today. There's a note exists. Hey. This is the snack, the cat snack bar. Here, these food is. Oh, if it is not there. Man, delicious drinks, coca, plant-based, powdered extracts, so that you may inhale those, and then drink a glass of water optionally. Should you be thirsty, I would say.